of GreenTouch is. And when we talk about GreenTouch, we talk about a collaborative research consortium which really tries to improve energy efficiency in communication networks by a factor of 1,000. So it's a really bold, ambitious goal. So what I will do is, first of all, give you a bit the context. ICT, information communication technologies, what is the impact on carbon footprint and alike? And then go a bit more in detail as to how we do that with GreenTouch. So let me start with ICT, impact. ICT is rather intangible. It is not something people tend to know what it really is. So let me make the comparison with stuff you do know. And one very simple comparison is with the global aviation industry. Well, the impact of global aviation industry on carbon footprint, you know it. It's roughly 2% of global carbon footprint. Well, ICT is similar. If I make the comparison with cars, it's roughly 50 million cars on the road. That's a lot. If you would look at the internet as a country, and if you make a listing of the energy consumption of countries, well, the internet would be ranked in 5th position in between Japan and Russia. But what is even more important is that the evolution, the forecast of energy consumption in communication networks is increasing by roughly 27% in the coming years. So that's a lot. And why is that? Well, because you and I want that to happen. Because communication networks have to absorb an enormous traffic growth. Why? Well, simply because you and I, we want to call, not only voice call, we want to video call. And if video is not enough, we want high-definition video calls. And if that is not enough, we don't only want it on the phone, on the smartphone, on the tablet, on my TV, PC, you name it. So it's a huge traffic growth, and we want it anywhere, anytime. What does it mean? An enormous growth in traffic. And what you see on the left top corner is the evolution in data traffic. And that's a logarithmic scale, right? So it's exponentially growing. On the top right corner, I try to give you an idea as to about how much we talk. We talk about petabytes. Now, peta, well, that means a lot. And I always make a comparison. We hear in news quite a lot of discussion about the debt ceiling and the like. These are billions and trillions of dollars and euros. Well, peta is quadrillions. So it's a one with an awful lot of zeros behind. And that's just per month. So it's increasing tremendously. Now, the problem we face is that network technologies don't cope with that. Because the improvement in energy efficiency in terms of improving network technologies only grows with 10 to 15%. So if you compare that to the 30x factor I mentioned before, yeah, then we have what I call an energy gap, a growing network energy gap. Up to 2009, 2010, it was roughly at par, the evolution in traffic and the evolution in network technology. But since then, we see that these are growing apart. So we have a real issue here. This is not sustainable. So then we thought, well, how inefficient are communication networks? Well, they are really very inefficient. Because we did in Bell Labs a research study, and that research study revealed that actually, if you look at it from a purely scientific way, so looking at the laws of physics and the like, we can be 10,000 more times efficient than what we have today. So that's huge. So we said, let's get on with it. Let's try to make it more efficient then. But you know, the problem is that even as a big company, we cannot do that alone. It's too big. So we need to find a new innovation model. And what we did is we set up a new model, a new innovation model. We innovated the innovation model by bringing together all the relevant stakeholders in ICT. Because in ICT, the landscape has become so complex with lots of various stakeholders. So not only equipment vendors, those who make the boxes, the hardware and the software, but also those who supply the components to make these boxes. We bring those together. And if that is not enough, we also bring together those who use these boxes, the service providers, the BTs and AT&Ts of this world. So that's already quite a few stakeholders. And then we said, well, that's not sufficient. We need also the academic world, universities and research institutes. So we brought together all of these stakeholders. And what we said is like, well, we can sit around the tables like we do here. But we need to energize these folks in order to get to improving energy efficiency. So what did we do? We set out a bold and ambitious goal. And the bold and ambitious goal is to improve energy efficiency with a factor of 1,000. Remember, law of physics tells us 10,000 is possible. So we said, let's keep it at 1,000. That's a big enough stretch. So we brought together all these people, and we brought them together in a pre-competitive manner. It's a research effort. It's longer term. So we have now, since we were founded mid-2010, we roughly have 60 members, stakeholders all over the ICT industry, which brings together more than 300 scientists, researchers from all over the world, the Americas, Europe, Asia. And we are working together towards that goal. And what is that goal? That goal is to really improve the energy efficiency by a factor of 1,000. And we do that by looking at architectures, by looking at the hard and the software, at algorithms, everything. We really look at everything. And we put such a grand challenge, such an ambitious goal before us in order to think disruptively.